Merry Solstice, everyone. How's everyone doing this evening? Welcome to Nature's Mysteries Medicine Show. Thank you for joining us this evening on episode 34, Hydrotherapy. And what is hydrotherapy? We're going to learn a little bit more about that this evening. And like I said, I'm Michelle Wildflower. I am the founder and alchemist for Nature's Mysteries Apothecary, and now the Director of Education at Nature's Mysteries Academy of Holistic Health. And this evening, well, actually this whole month of December, we've been talking about alternative therapies. And this evening, we're going to be talking about hydrotherapy. The last episode, 33, we explored aromatherapy and what it's like using essential oils and different ways that we can use them to improve our health. And in next week's episode, we'll be exploring gemstone therapy and ways that we can use gemstones in our healing regimes and ways that we can use them to improve not only our health, but also our spiritual well-being and emotional well-being. So you can join us for those episodes. And as always, if you miss them, you can always tune into the replays and they'll be there for you. So let's get started. So hydrotherapy basically is the use of internally or externally water in its many forms. It could be ice, water, or steam. And it's used for promoting health and used as a treatment in various temperatures, duration, pressure, location, and it's used in treating a variety of symptoms, and that's what we're going to explore this evening. It's sometimes known as aquatics. You might have heard it called that. It's an ancient therapy using water to improve our health that's been used for actually thousands of years throughout time and all over the world. Some people use hot water, some people use cold water, and each of them have their own benefits, and that's what we're going to look into more deeply this evening. But the different approaches that people use might involve various equipment. Not always, but it might involve, there might be pools or immersion tanks, flotation pods, Epsom salt or sitz baths, Swiss mineral baths or mineral showers, cold or hot compresses, and whirlpools. But obviously none of those are really required. You could just go outside and jump in a lake or in a waterfall or a river or something like that. And oftentimes for folks who reside in busier areas, they might actually have to resort to a swimming pool. And usually a swimming pool would be the temperature would be a little warmer than your average swimming pool, so that they're trying to kind of induce a state of relaxation. Not all, there could be, different ones depending on where you're at, but most likely if you are participating in an aquatics or hydrotherapy class, the water will be a little bit warmer than the usual swimming pool. And often they're led by some kind of professional person that, is trained in the ability of ways to move your body and specific ways that can help to, there's one such as aquatic physiotherapy, and that involves specialized movement and gentle swimming for people with disabilities or injuries. There could be water exercise classes such as water aerobics or Zumba. You could do that in the water. It could be deep water running, which is used to improve fitness and strength. And aquatic massage is another form of treatment. It's aquatic body work, in which a therapist cradles, moves, and stretches and massages your body while you rest in chest deep water. That would be the one that I would want to do. What about you? That sounds like great to me. Not that I'm always necessarily someone who enjoys massage, but being in warm water and having someone, if you had any kind of ailments or aches or pains or injuries, and to just have someone gently guiding you through the water, just seems like that would be the one that I would be interested in. Then there's temperature controlled hydrotherapy, because different temperatures of water can produce different effects. So like we said, hot water can induce a state of relaxation and ease your muscles, achy muscles, whereas a cold plunging or cold hydrotherapy, which would involve very cold extreme water temperatures, and that's intentionally used for its pain-killing effects. It can also increase your endorphins and adrenaline, right? When you jump into freezing cold water, it definitely makes you like, whoo. My daughters, when they were little, we live right by Lake Willoughby, and when they were little, they wait so long in New England, our winters take forever, and they will, as soon as like the snow melted and the ice was like gone, you could see a little bit of water that they could get in, they would ask if they could go swimming. And I figured that they wouldn't be able to because their feet would get too cold running over the snow, but they were totally able to. And so they've been cold plunging since they were little. And actually, one of my daughters still cold plunges sometimes on holidays when she comes over, and they'll all go down to the beach. And we'll all go down there, but we don't all jump in. Just, sometimes a couple of them might try jumping in, but there's that one daughter that will just stay in the longest. She's got her breathing down. She just knows what she's doing. And all of them are super healthy, but I mean, the health benefits from that are pretty amazing. So if you are interested in cold plunging, that's something that you should look into, because I know that there's just so many immune boosting benefits that our bodies receive from it. And most all hydrotherapy exercises or practices reduce inflammation in our bodies, among many other things. We're going to talk about the benefits in a minute, but I just wanted to say that there's more than endorphin releasing, pain killing, and relaxation benefits to be gained by these practices. So if you were outside, this is just a little side note, if you were outside and you were practicing some kind of hydrotherapy or aquatherapy or aquatics, and you were jumping into a waterfall or something like that, anywhere where there's moving water is going to include negative ions in the air. So when we're in the city or someplace where there's a lot of Wi-Fi or cell towers, or a lot of technology, electronic devices, Wi-Fi routers, Bluetooth, all that, there's a lot, those actually are putting out positive ions, and positive ions can have a negative effect on our mental health and our physical well-being. So if we can bring ourselves to places where there's more negative ions than there are positive ions, such as in a place like in nature where there's a waterfall or a river, any kind of moving water, like I said, actually creates negative ions in the air when that water is moving. So you're getting added benefits besides the cold water if it's this time of year that you're doing it, because just being outside in nature is also inducing a state of relaxation and improving your mental health and well-being. And like I said, it helps to decrease pain and swelling, inflammation. When you're in water, you experience decreased effects of gravity and float more easily, taking pressure off of achy joints and weak muscles. It also allows for decreased weight bearing on joints, even while increasing muscle activity and blood flow. While you're exercising, it's improving your circulation. It increases range of movement and strength. And orthopedic problems, which can help with orthopedic problems for folks who require decreased weight bearing, yet want the added resistance that water has to offer. And moving through water requires some force, thanks to the resistance we mentioned. So it's possible to build muscle strength without aggravating injuries. So it can also help to prevent future injuries by taking it slow and doing those exercises in the water before you actually start doing them outside of the water, to make sure that your muscles and ligaments and all of that are actually healed enough that you are in a state of strength of well-being that you can actually go do it. It can also improve your mood and sleep. It improves relaxation. It helps to defend against the effects of stress. And there was actually a 2013 study found that patients suffering with anxiety and myofascial pain syndrome that were randomly assigned to receive whirlpool therapy twice a week for 30 minutes experienced significant decrease in their symptoms. So there is research behind it. It's not, obviously it works because people have been using it for thousands of years. But if you're one of those folks that just likes to know the ins and outs and that likes to have research-based evidence, there's research-based evidence for you. It enhances your metabolic rate, improves digestion, hydrates your skin, aids in muscle tone, boosting your immune system, like we mentioned. It prevents future illnesses. And there's so many different conditions that hydrotherapy can alleviate, such as joint pain, stiffness, sprains, any condition that is intolerant to weight-bearing exercise, such as back pain, tendinitis, arthritis symptoms, and osteoarthritis pains, paralysis, such as due to a stroke, neuromuscular disorders, musculoskeletal disorders, cardiovascular disorders, and risk factors like high blood pressure, pulmonary disorders, ASDs or autism spectrum disorders, disabilities and motor delays in children, asthma, problems with balance, reoccurring injuries, and reduced range of motion that makes other forms of exercise difficult or uncomfortable, pregnancy-related aches and pains, fatigue, obesity, headaches. So there's so many reasons. Not to mention, it just feels really good being in the water, right? Especially if you were out in nature. If at this time of year, all you can really access is a swimming pool, and maybe you could look into, if you're someone who enjoys warmer water like myself, maybe you could look into see if there was some kind of hydrotherapy classes in your area, because like we mentioned, the water usually would be a little bit warmer for those exercises. So that's something that you could look into in your area, and they would be guided by trained staff that are practiced in movement for people who are suffering with the kind of condition that you're suffering with, so that you have supervised exercises so that you make sure that you don't hurt yourself. So we're not advising anyone who has any injuries or anything like that to just go do whatever you want in the water, and because you're in the water it'll be okay. That's not what we're saying at all. We're just giving you ideas and benefits that hydrotherapy could possibly be available to you, and maybe you haven't thought of them. If you're someone who has tried opioids and they're not really working anymore, and you don't want to keep increasing your dose, hydrotherapy is another option that you could try, and just see if you have some of the same results that some other folks have had that have tried it, along with physical therapy and some other exercises or methods of movement that a trained professional might advise for you. So those are some options for you. And I don't know if I said in the beginning Merry Solstice Eve or not, but This is Solstice Eve, so tomorrow will be the shortest day of the year and the longest night. And then after that, all the days will start getting longer. So this is a good time to set your intention for next year and think about, if you are suffering with any kind of conditions, what is your wellness plan going to be for next year? What exercises or therapies are you going to incorporate into your daily life routine that will improve your health, your well-being, your mobility, your physical activity, your mental health? You can check back on some of our past episodes. We have lots of ideas for ways to feel better. And if you're interested in getting a wellness consultation or something like that, if you're someone who's tried many different ways of feeling better and you still feel challenged, those are some of our best patients that we've worked with, is ones that were told that they weren't going to get better. So if that's something that you're dealing with, you can always reach out at 802-624-6540 if you want to call and talk to someone, or you could email us at info@naturesmysteries.com. And if you'd like to learn a little bit more about improving your health and well-being, our 12-week holistic health practitioner program will begin January 25th. And I don't know if you are aware, but we are accredited with the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. And upon completion of our 12-week holistic health practitioner program, you can apply to them to become a board certified holistic health practitioner. How cool would that be for not only your business, but just for yourself to have that knowledge and be able to help others and yourself with herbal medicine that doesn't have any debilitating side effects or, other ill effects on your body, such as, depleting your kidneys or damaging your liver or suicidal thoughts or brain bleeding or any of that. Plant medicine is a great way to improve your health and well-being naturally. And if you are interested in some recipes and other ideas, I actually meant to have this a little closer, but I didn't. So you could get my book, Discover the Essence of Plant Medicine, the 5 Principles of Life-Saving Herbs. And in it, we go over about 33 different herbs. We talk about growing, harvesting, storing, preparations, applications. There's over 150 different recipes, 650 pages. There's a little history of herbs we go over. There's a chapter about herbs for children and pet cancer, and a lot more than that. So if that's something you're interested in, you can go to naturesmysteries.com and maybe sign up for the Holistic Health Practitioner Program. That's the book that we're using for it. Or you can just order the book and check it out. If you decide after ordering the book that you would like to sign up for the program, then you would receive a discount on the program because you already have the textbook for it. And right now we're having a free overnight shipping. So if you need a last minute present for someone, you can always go to naturesmysteries.com and find your favorite CBD product, and we will, or the book, either one, and we will send it out to you overnight shipping so that you definitely have it for Christmas if that's what you're celebrating and trying to get it for. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. I hope you have a wonderful solstice and a Merry Christmas, and we will look forward to seeing you next week when we're talking about gemstone therapies and the way that gemstones can improve our health and well-being. Thank you for tuning in and discovering the essence of water. Take care.